Hey friends, we're going to work with our Form Flex compound today. I'm just going to show you how I do my molds. You want to make sure you keep this in the refrigerator because it is a non-toxic, meaning that it's more from the earth, and you want to be careful with leaving it out to mold. So I put mine in the refrigerator. I just keep it in the drawer in the refrigerator and put it in a plastic bag. And you want it to come to room temperature before you start working with it. It's going to make it a little bit softer. And so we're just going to take some and work with it. The first thing that you do is you want to take your cornstarch, and you can use any kind you have, and you just want to put some cornstarch in your mold. I'm going to go ahead and put some in here as well. I'm going to be using this one. So this one I believe came from either Joann's or Michael's. And this one is a redesign by Prima mold. And I'm just going to make me a couple of things here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some cornstarch in. It doesn't have to be this much, but enough to cover it to where it keeps it from sticking. Just like that. Okay. And then you're going to take your Form Flex. You're just going to kind of roll it in a little, like a little worm. I don't like the other words. I'm going to say a little worm. So you're just going to do it in a little worm for these little small ones here. I'm just going to kind of roll it out, and then you're just going to press in just like this. This is the way that I do it. This is the way I do it. Miss Tammy can really do a lot better job than me. She can whip it out, but I'm newer to mold, so this is the way I do mine. And then you take the little card that she sends you, and you're going to have it kind of at a little angle here. And you're just going to scrape that off. Then you're going to make sure that you've pressed back into all the edges. Put a little cornstarch on your hand. If your hand is sticking to it a little bit, put a little cornstarch on your hand. It's not going to hurt a thing. And that's going to give it a little bit better, keep it from sticking to your piece there. Okay, and then let's do this one next to it. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm using what was left from that. Same thing, you're just going to put it in. And then if your hands seem like they're sticking to it, just put your little cornstarch. And we're going to go all the way down to here. We can move it all the way down without getting more out. Let's see if we can. I just kind of move mine and keep playing with it. Keep a little cornstarch on your fingers. And it will kind of stick to you sometimes. So let's see if we can kind of push that to get it into the mold. If not, we'll get some more out. Don't ever throw away what you take off, because you can use that. You can also use this to mold with. So I'm just going to push that to there. Okay, let's take our piece here. Just take your card. You're just going to run it across the top there. Now, if it pulls more out than you want, then you'll just put a little bit more in. Okay, see how I'm going to move this to where it goes to the edges. Just with your fingers. Get those little sides as well. You want to get it to where you don't have to take too much off once you get it out. So there's a little place here, and we'll see if I can get a little bit right in there. Fill that in. Just going to take a little bit more off, not much, just a little bit, and just kind of rake it off the edges. And then you've got that one right there. Be careful as you're putting the next one in. You don't want to pull this out. So you just kind of push it with your finger to get it all the way to the edges, just like that. Now let's do this one. We're going to need a little bit more of the compound. Just easy peasy, not hard at all. Just take a little bit out, mix this back in, roll it. This is the way I do mine. I just kind of roll it out. That's the way I was taught, and like a little worm. Then we're just going to put this in. Just keep, and you're just going to take your fingers and move it as you're doing it, and that's going to push it on into your mold. See how easy that one was? Just make sure it's good and in there. again, we're going to take our card just at a little angle. You're just taking the top right off. Be careful that you don't take it off the other ones next to it. That's easy to do, but you can fix it. So it's always fixable. Always fixable. So don't let that bother you. Go ahead and get those little sides. Kind of pull those in as well, so you don't have that on the edge. That's just something you have to take off if you don't get it all the way in your mold, and that's all right too if you have to do that. But if you can keep from it, and let's just push that one down. Now when you're starting to do frames, they're a little bit harder. This is one of the hardest frames I've done, but it's very doable. So you can do that. We'll do one of these smaller ones right now. But you're going to do the same thing. Just roll it out. You want to make sure you've got cornstarch. The cornstarch really helps it from sticking. It's just a good idea to do it. Plus, when you're putting in the mold, it's a lot easier if you have some cornstarch in there. Some people use baby powder, I believe, and everything. I've always used the cornstarch. And we're just going to keep pushing it in our mold till we can get it kind of where we need it. I'll keep pushing that. I might be able to just use what I have here, not have to get any more out. I'm just going to push it into your mold, just like that. It's not a hard procedure. It just takes a little time, a little getting used to. And I don't want those little middle pieces. You could do that, but I'm going to leave those out just like that. And I'm just going to take my card. And sometimes you take too much off and you can put it back in. Don't worry if you don't get enough. Now see these little holes? That's where you're supposed to have a little hole. So just take your fingernail, or you can take a little tool, and I'm just taking out. And it's just got some little indentions there. That you can go ahead and fill it, but it's made for a reason to have those. So I just try to go ahead and make sure that I've got those done when I'm doing my molds. And that's going to give you... Now, the last time I made this, I didn't do those. So you can put you some more dough over it. Excuse me. Some more of your Form Flex. And then you can fill it back in if you want to. It still may or may not hold those, but you can put a little bit there if you're wanting to kind of fill that in and you really don't want those little holes. But you still may get them. Just put it back in there. The little square ones are very easy to do, so all you do is just put, and then these are little molds as well around here. This is called, this was a Prima mold, and it's called, I think it's called grungy frames. But you can make these little frames as well. Anything on here is really easy. These are cute to use for different things. So maybe some of your molding clay that's left over, you can just stick in there and then stick your little extras. Just whatever you want to do. Just a little bit. Doesn't need much at all. And the little circle in the middle, you're going to be taking that off because you don't need but just the square part. So you do the same thing. You just take your little tool. Now you can use a different tool. You can use, I sometimes use just my, let me get a bigger one. Sometimes I just use one of these tools. So any kind of little spatula or something will do, that'll do as well. The card works really well, and especially if you're starting out, she puts a card in every order. So if you get the card, go ahead and start with that because it's easy to work with. And then you have a little bit left over and you can just put it right here in this one. There's a little bit left over. And you can just take and do the same thing with that you did with your card. Okay, and we'll just leave that. We'll use that up. And then you can do any of these that you want to. I love this one. I use this one quite a bit. It takes the time, so I won't do that right now. Here's another mold that's got the frames. So you can either do this, or you can do the whole thing and have this in the middle And the same thing with this one. You can use the outside or you can do it with that part. I'm just going to do this little small one right here. So we're going to put a little bit of cornstarch. It's pretty warm here in the south today. It doesn't feel as warm outside, but it is in the house. I should have turned on my fan. But you're going to put these in the freezer. Now let's see how long it says. Says 20 minutes. I put mine in. I leave mine about 30. You can do either one. Now, I don't want this part, so I'm just going to do just the outside. These are a little trickier. So if you're starting out, this might seem a little trickier to you. Let me get a little bit of that out so I have some on my fingers, because it does stick to your fingers. And you see it's a lot here, but I'm going to get that off. So I'm going to keep moving it till I get it kind of in the edges, but you want to keep plenty in there. So it's better to kind of take some off than get it too thin for your mold, because if you get it too thin, it's not going to pull out correctly. So see, I moved that over. I'm going to take that. I don't want to waste that, so I'm going to put it back over here. Okay, now I'm going to get a little bit more. And this goes pretty far. This goes pretty far. But the thing is to make sure that you don't throw away what excess you take off. Use it on something else or put it back in your bag. Now this one's a little trickier. I'm going to do the same thing. I have a little trouble more with molds than I do anything, but I get them to work. I get them to work. So you just want to keep pushing so it's on the outside of this little lip here. The IOD molds are made well because this is a good thing to have on a mold. And I can't remember the name of what they call it right this minute, but I can think of it. And it's made specifically in the IOD molds. It's going to help you mold a little better. And you're not getting your clay over into this because it does have a little barrier here. Get a little bit more off. And that's still going to come out fine. I've got all this extra, so I can use that in something else. I want to clean it up a little bit. And I just kind of use my fingers and get this little excess off. Same thing. While I'm molding, I just go ahead and mold a few things. I don't just do one or two. I just go ahead and do a couple of extra things so that I have them if I need them. It's not going to hurt for you to have excess cornstarch. Not going to hurt it a bit. Now see, I got me a little circle there, and I'm going to press this one down. I'm going to put a little cornstarch on my fingers because it's sticking to me just a little bit. And I'm just doing the inside of this mold here. Same thing, we're going to push it out, push it with your fingers. Now some people, they will look beautiful on the back of their molds. Mine might not always be beautiful, but you don't see it. And then the same thing, you're just going to kind of do it at an angle. I'm going to use this side. Same thing. And see how much we took off? Because we don't need all that. See it thinned it down a little bit? You don't have to have thick. Okay? See right there, I accidentally touched it. So let me get me some cornstarch and I'm going to fix it. Just like that. See how it fixed back? You'll do the same thing with this one. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of press it. And then you can wash your molds out. I do wash mine out. Mostly I just use a wipe on them because I don't want this to go down my sink. So I don't always get all the stuff out of it. So all of these are going to go in the freezer. And then I will come back when I pull them out of the freezer and show you how easy they are to pull out. Okay, friends, we're unmolding. I'm not going to be able to do them all, but I'm going to show you a couple that I'm unmolding right now. So you're just breaking it apart. See, they almost just come out on their own. You don't even really have to do a whole lot. See, that one came straight out. Depends on the mold. Some molds are better than others, and they'll just pull straight out. And then other ones you have to work with a little bit. These I would say the Prima and the IODs are really good. That one's out. Okay, here's our frames. Now, our frames may be, once we get them out, they may have to have a little pulling off, but that's okay. We're going to do that. See that one pulled straight out. That's an IOD. Here's the other IOD. I'm going to break that, and you see that that one came perfectly. Now, if you have these little ookies, see on the inside where it's not exactly straight, you're just going to pinch them with your finger and get them off, or you can take a little bit of a sandpaper, but we can pull those straight out. Not going to be a problem at all. Here's the little molds. This is one of the Prima molds. Same thing. We just want to kind of break it and see how that came out. Now, that one still made the little holes in the top I was telling you about, which is fine. I hope you enjoyed our video and that you will learn to make you some molds. I would love to see them.